Coming up in today's edition of Jamaica Magazine, the Jamaica Social Investment Fund is helping to make Jamaica disaster ready, plus making water safe for drinking. And later, are you too busy in the mornings to make breakfast? We'll show you some simple meal ideas. I'm Theodore Henry. We'll have all that after the news of the day. Keep watching.
This Labor Day, May 23, let's join hands and hearts in harmony to make Jamaica a better place for all of we. Ramp it up. Help build ramps in our schools and health centers to make them more accessible. Fix it up, clean up, repair and beautify our schools and health centers. Register your projects now at dis.gov.jm or email laborday@mcges.gov.jm. Call 978-7654 for details. Labor Day 2018. Ramp it up, fix it up. Our schools, our health centers, our responsibility.
Fix it up, you know.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, May 16. Just under 1,200 registered farmers in 8 parishes who have been affected by recent flood rains are to benefit from $76.7 million in relief. Portfolio Minister Audley Shaw made the announcement in Parliament Tuesday. He said the funds $1 million per rural constituency and $600,000 per urban constituency will be disbursed by members of Parliament and the Rural Agricultural Development Authority. Minister Shaw outlined that the May 4 to 7 rains affected 136.9 hectares of farmlands with an estimated 1,520 tons of produce lost.
While we are happy that the damage was not major, some of our small farmers were in fact affected and are in need of assistance, and we are committed to providing this support to get these farmers back on their feet.
Minister Shaw also advised that an approved list of farm roads to be repaired has been compiled and will be tabled in the House shortly. In the meantime, government is far advanced in the drafting of a policy framework for disaster risk financing. In her contribution to the sectoral debate Tuesday, Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Finance, Favour Williams, said the policy will cover different levels of disaster. She says the policy will also provide an investment plan to mitigate harm to people and damage to infrastructure.
Rather than the one product that we now have that only kicks in if there is a real catastrophe, we envision different market-based products with quick disbursement features. We will utilize the market for contingent lines of credit and catastrophic bonds, all within our envelope of affordability.
Asserting that natural disasters accounted for 2.4% of GDP, Minister Williams says Jamaica will continue to participate in the Caribbean Catastrophic Risk Insurance Facility. Some $2.3 billion has been disbursed to respond to damage from excessive rainfall. The Jamaica Logistics Hub Initiative, JHLI, has gained more traction following Cabinet's approval of several policies that will see to its introduction. Minister Darrell Vaz told Parliament Tuesday that at the May 7 sitting of Cabinet, approval was given for the tabling of the initiative's market analysis and master plan for adoption. He says through the JHLI, government is targeting the creation of 87,000 direct jobs from injecting $28 billion to develop 3,900 hectares of lands across the island.
The master plan specifically details the actions Jamaica will need to take on several fronts simultaneously in order to realize its vision, namely a 7-part strategy consisting of those critical elements referred to as strategic enablers that significantly affect Jamaica's ability to achieve the build-out of the SEZ.
5,000 persons will participate in a pilot initiative to enhance healthcare delivery across the island. Dubbed eCare, the program is a partnership between the Universal Service Fund and the Diabetes Association of Jamaica. In his contribution to the sectoral debate Tuesday, Technology Minister Dr. Andrew Wheatley said eCare will revolutionize how doctors and patients collaborate to manage chronic diseases.
eCare will allow a patient, through the use of technology, to interact with their doctor for consultation and advice without having to leave home to visit a clinic or medical practice. Mr. Speaker, eCare will facilitate video conferencing between doctor and patient, along with affording the medical professional the convenience of sending prescriptions to the patient's pharmacy of choice.
Minister Wheatley says e-care will be introduced on a phased basis in select health centers and will inform the island-wide launch of the program. In the meantime, Minister Wheatley also announced the creation of an internship program for youth from volatile communities. To be launched next week, the program will be managed by the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica, PCJ, with the University of Technology as the implementing institution. In the first phase, 750 young persons 18 to 35 years old are to be trained and certified at the end of the program. Top students will also gain immediate entry into suitable full-time academic programs at the university during the 2018-2019 academic year.
Over a 3-week period, participants will be trained in the areas of engineering, business, hospitality and tourism management, renewable energy, entrepreneurism, robotics, and information technology.
Minister Wheatley says the PCJ will cover tuition, room and board, as well as an individual stipend of $45,000. And finally, a trauma team from the Ministry of Education will continue to provide grief counseling to the Bogwalk High School community. This after Monday's stabbing death of 16-year-old student Kevon Barnes. Education Minister Roel Reid has denounced the killing while urging students to utilize mediation to solve conflict.
This death could have been avoided if conflict resolution was a norm in our society and schools. I want to urge our young people to find better and nonviolent ways of settling disagreements. It is not worth your future and your life.
The police report that Kevon and a classmate were attacked by a group of teenage boys while walking along the Bogwalk Main Road. Kevon succumbed to his injuries at the Linstead Hospital while his classmate has been admitted. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, celebrating over 20 years of investment in community development. JSIF has forged relationships with international funding partners as well as private and public sector entities. Let us continue to invest to reduce vulnerabilities. Let us build our social capital and resilient infrastructures to ensure full participation in Vision 2030. JSIF, investing for community development.
I am glad you decided to stay with us. You won't regret it because now we're talking about something that impacts everyone on this beautiful island: natural disasters. And the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, is working with a variety of government agencies to ensure that when these dangerous phenomena strike, the country is ready. Watch this.
Disasters are expensive, costing life and property and a great deal of money for cleanup and repairs. For Jamaica, our small size, location and topography means that the country is especially vulnerable to earthquakes, hurricanes and floods. While it's difficult to prevent these devastating events, there are things that can be done to reduce the damage. The Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project DVRP, funded by the World Bank and implemented by the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, aims to strengthen the country's ability to withstand and recover from natural disasters.
It's a project that's going to be focused on physical infrastructure investments, equipping and institutional strengthening of the relevant government agencies that are normally tasked to do this work. I'm talking about OPM, I'm talking about the Ministry of Local Government, through the Fire Brigade, through NEPA, through the National Works Agency, the Earthquake Unit at the University of the West Indies. These are normally the agencies that have to respond when natural disaster strikes.
Fire services are most critical in protecting life and property from not only fires but also other natural disasters. Under the Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project DVRP, over 140,000 persons within the parishes of St. Mary, St. James and St. Thomas will benefit from 3 new fire stations that will be constructed and provided with rescue equipment to include protective gears and extrication tools.
Well, I'll feel a little more secure going away, know that I have fire service right next to me, and they would be better able to respond to the event of a fire.
This new fire station means a lot to us. In that, it will give us peace of mind, knowing that we are in a more secure building, so that we can serve our community members better.
Even though Jamaica has not experienced a major earthquake since 1907, every year the country experiences over 200 minor tremors, and the threat of major devastation is always looming. When it comes to preparing for an earthquake, data collection is important, as this helps in understanding the risk associated with this event and will inform policy towards strengthening the country's resilience. Through the DVRP, assistance will be given to the University of the West Indies Mona Campus Earthquake Unit, which is responsible for monitoring the country's seismic activities. All their seismic stations will be upgraded.
There's a number of different pieces of equipment we can receive. The first one is a series of seismometers, and these are digital seismometers. And these are to basically fit out the remaining stations with digital seismometers. So we're going to end up with those 10 stations completely upgraded, and then add an additional station to it, so an 11th station there. So we're moving from, we've got analog to digital. Additionally, we have a series of accelerometers. And the accelerometers do a different thing. The seismometers are there to record the earthquakes, and they don't get triggered early on. The accelerometers are really there to tell us how the buildings shake. What is the severity of the shaking that goes on? And the importance of that is that a building will survive up to a certain amount of shaking, and then it will collapse, and then it will kill people. We obviously want to understand across Jamaica how the acceleration changes, how when you get an earthquake, the building shaking changes across the island.
In an effort to address Jamaica's limited human capacity in the field of seismology, the project will fund a junior research fellow who will read for a PhD degree in seismology over a 3-year period, and upon completion will be employed as a seismologist in the unit. Floods have large social and economic consequences for communities and individuals. When there's a heavy downpour, which is not unusual for the island, the lives of residents in many communities are disrupted. The project will see major infrastructure work done in Old Harbour and along Port Royal Street to limit the effects of rising and rough waters.
The improvement works in Old Harbour will include the expansion and the improvement of the urban drainage and also bridges. Myton Gully, Church Pen, those areas in Old Harbour, and Big Pond.
Big Pond, whenever time it comes, I mean, no car can pass, flood out my house, wash our clothes, anything, you understand? So we'll be grateful for JSIF and everybody to come on, for coming on board to fix it.
When the pond come over, it's hamper even to school children then. It is so dangerous that it take life already. When JSF and NWA are coming, come do this for me. Oh my God, just like that. We'd be so glad and happy.
Along Port Royal Street in Kingston, 2 kilometers of coastal revetments will be constructed and retrofitted. This will benefit the patrons and owners of the various business establishments located around this area, as well as users of the Norman Manley International Airport. And there's more.
There is also a very important, critical element of the DVRP, which is funding to support training on the building code. Jamaica is moving towards enacting a new code, and so it will be important that persons involved in the construction industry, the players in government, or professionals, engineers, architects, etc., are fully exposed and trained on this new building code, and the project will support that.
The total cost for the overall project is $42 million and is expected to be completed by 2022. The best time to prepare for a natural disaster is before it happens. Collecting information on disaster and risk reduction, constructing disaster-resilient buildings and structures will go a far way in limiting the cost of these natural hazards within Jamaica.
more life.
More memories.
More moments.
Jamaica Moves is a call to action to prevent non-communicable diseases. Get active, eat healthy. You can protect yourself from high blood pressure, obesity, asthma, certain cancer diseases, and more.
Eight glasses of water. That's the recommended daily serving for good health. There's not enough time to list all the benefits of drinking H2O, but here are a few. Healthy skin, a stronger immune system, weight loss, and good memory. And for us Jamaicans, all we have to do is turn on the pipe to tap into all that goodness. A lot of work goes into making it clean. Take a look.
The human body cannot function without water. While you may live for up to 3 weeks without food, you cannot go more than a week without water. From breaking down the food we eat so the body can use it, to helping us heal when we get sick, water is needed for almost every process that takes place in the body. And although 70% of the Earth's surface is covered with water, drinking it directly from seas, rivers, wells, or aqueducts may make you sick. Untreated water contains bacteria and other germs, as well as chemicals that may be dangerous to the body. So in order to get the water from here to here safely, it has to be treated. Water treatment processes differ depending on the source. If the water is coming from a river, for example here at the Negro River in St. Thomas, it usually goes through an extensive treatment process before reaching the pipe.
Here is where we do the first type of treatment in the form of sedimentation and screening. Behind me you can see where we screen the bigger stuff like the sticks, stones and debris. Then we come down to the sediment where we separate the sand from the stones. And then this water will leave from St. Thomas and pipe into Kingston via pipeline into the Mona Reservoir.
The Mona Reservoir is the island's largest raw water storage facility and provides the liquid to over 30% of people living in Kingston and St. Andrew. If this is where you get your water, here is where the next step in the treatment process occurs.
Here in the reservoir, we allow for maximum levels of mixing, maximum levels of aeration, as can be done here at the facility. We also, at the reservoir, you allow for settling out of the silt and the suspended particles, dirt particles, that would otherwise be in the raw water. We then take the water from the reservoir and take it to the Mona treatment plant.
At the treatment plant, chemicals are added to further purify the water. Chlorine is first added to kill bacteria.
You have stages that include flocculation, where we actually add chemicals to the water that allow those microscopic dirt particles that are still in the water to be brought together in what we call flocks, and then we are able to skim it off and remove it from the water.
The water is then passed through filters which contain layers of sand, gravel, charcoal or synthetic materials that remove remaining small particles. The final stage is disinfection. Here, chlorine is added to kill any other bacteria or germ.
Ensuring that we have what we refer to as chlorine residual that goes with the water, so that as the water travels along the pipeline to our customers, should it come in contact with any germs along the way, there is enough chlorine residual in that water to destroy those germs and still be delivered to the customer in good quality.
The water is tested all throughout the treatment process to ensure that what you get in your pipe meets World Health Organization standards.
For several years running, the National Water Commission has won the best tasting water in the Caribbean. We have also been acknowledged by the various arms of the United Nations at different points in time as having one of the best quality water in the hemisphere.
That is definitely something we can drink to.
So now we move from safe water to nutritious meals. Let's talk about breakfast. After all, it is said to be the most important meal of the day. But I know sometimes you have to rush out early and you miss the opportunity to start the day right. Well, we have you covered in our next feature with simple meals you can whip up easily in the morning.
The Grenville campus of the Hartress NTA's Northwest TVET Institute has offered to render some assistance by giving us some quick and easy meal ideas that's fit for the entire family. Our facilitator today is sous chef Randy Plummer. Thanks for having us, Randy.
Hi Sandra, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Welcome to Grenville campus. Today we'll be doing some healthy, nutritious meals just to give parents and caregivers a workable example of what they can do in no time.
So before we get into business, Randy, why is it so important for us to have a healthy breakfast?
Well, it's important to have a healthy breakfast because the body, throughout the night, the body loses all the nutrients that it would have gotten in the day. And what the breakfast does now, it introduces new nutrients to the body, giving the body energy so you can carry out given tasks throughout the day. Also, studies have shown where students who have, or children who have healthy breakfasts, they tend to concentrate better in school or at their work.
Some of us parents can hardly find time to send our children to school on time, much less cook meals in the mornings. What do you recommend?
Well, there's a whole lot of easy breakfast ideas. Simple thing, just as a boiled egg with some tomatoes, introducing protein along with vitamin C. Another example, oatmeal porridge with raisins. Oats is a good source of fiber. Raisins a good source of vitamin C also. So there are many ways that you can do simple dishes that doesn't take much time.
Okay, so with that said, let's get started.
Okay. Welcome to our kitchen. Today I have assisting me, Sapphire. We're doing some easy breakfast meal ideas. The meals are so easy to prepare, so you can have your children assist you. Today we'll be preparing mackerel croquettes. The ingredients are mackerel, escallion, mixed vegetables, red onions, and white onions. Also, we'll be using the breading process. The ingredients for the breading process are flour, egg wash, and the breadcrumb. For children who suffer from celiac disease, instead of using our regular breadcrumb, you can use the gluten-free breadcrumb. So what we'll be doing now is basically adding all our ingredients and mixing them together. So first we'll add the sweet potato. And sweet potato is rich in iron and potassium. We'll add the mackerel flakes.
So Randy, how long does this meal usually take to prepare?
It doesn't take more than 5 minutes. So what I would suggest to parents who work and have no time to prepare the meals in the morning, prep all ingredients from overnight, put them in the fridge, and then go ahead and deep fry them in the morning. And that will take the most 3 minutes. So what I'll have Sapphire doing now is just mixing the ingredients for me. Okay, well done, Sapphire. We'll now add some eggs for binding. Just mix the ingredients thoroughly. What we're going to do now is make some mini balls. So just squash everything together. It's almost the size of a golf ball. So we then coat it in flour, then egg wash, then breadcrumb. Sapphire is going to help me make one of the balls. Take up a small amount, squash it together. Squash it. Squash it with your hands like that. Squash it and just gently roll it. Okay, well done, Sapphire.
Okay, and how many of these balls do you usually recommend?
Normally for age group 5 to 11, I would recommend 8 ounces. So you're looking at about 4 to 5 of these balls. And portion control is very important because the correct portioning of food alleviates obese children. You have a whole lot of obese children all across the world, and overeating is one of the main factors. And now we'll move to the fryer. We're going to fry these croquettes until they are golden brown. And this should take no longer than 2 to 3 minutes. And the taste is very great. So the mothers and single mothers who have a short period on their hands to prepare breakfast in the morning, this is one of the easier way to go. And it's very nutritious. As you saw, we had a lot of vegetables in there, along with the mackerel that is rich in omega-3. You know, omega-3 is good for heart health. It prevents against heart disease. If you are a vegetarian, you can use veggie chunks or veggie mince.
Quick and easy to prepare and also nutritious. Don't they look nice? Wow, this is really good. Come here, help yourself.
That's all for today, but another Jamaica Magazine awaits you on this channel tomorrow at the same time. We want to know what you thought about the show, so send us an email or visit our social media pages. Visit the JIS website to watch this and any other editions of the show. I'm Theodore Henry. You take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.